Good evening, everyone. It is Middle-Aged Gamer Guy here. How are you on this Tuesday evening? Welcome back to TNGC, Tuesday Night Gaming Chat. Hello, Lady Red. How you doing? Hello, Mia. You've actually missed the intro for once. That's all right. We'll let you off. That's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. Welcome to the show. This week, we have got 7 new games that we're going to be talking about. And we've also got a ton of news stories to talk about. You've been bored because I've not been on for a couple of nights. I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, we'll keep you entertained for the next 2 hours. I promise. With me, as always, is my co-host. And I'm not even going to say this because you know it never makes sense if I say co-host with the most this. Yeah, doesn't work. It's Mr. David Jones. How are you,
Doesn't
sir?
work, does it?
No, I'm going to just stop that. I mean, we need something better. We want people to suggest something better than that. So if you can bring that in, that would be greatly appreciated. There you go. Mia saying, good evening, Dave. There you go.
How you doing, Mia?
So there you go. So, bank holiday weekend, just gone. Did you get much gaming in and what you've been playing?
Yeah, I got a little bit in. I'm still playing some of the ones I've been playing the last few weeks, like Desperados and Mass Effect. But I've played a few different things. A few I think we're talking about later in the reviews, like Disco Elysium and Outriders. So I won't go into those now. We'll talk about those later. Yeah. I did play the Dubai level of Hitman 3 though, because there's a Hitman 3 free starter pack that's just come out. Which I'm not sure if they're swapping out the level every so often that you can play, but when I downloaded it, it just had Dubai in there. So I had a quick playthrough on that on the weekend. That was pretty good actually. I quite enjoyed that. Yeah. I've only run through it the once. Wasn't the cleanest assassinations, but I killed them both dead, so all good. And I escaped. Job done. Yeah, as long as they're dead, job done. Doesn't matter how smooth it went. But I'd be tempted to go back through it and try and do some of the other, kills that you hear about. Hear little whisperings from people, little things sort of push you towards certain things you could do. So I'm tempted to go back and try some of those.
Well, there's that much stuff. I've just seen a message that Chelsea and Gecko Girl and Chelsea have just posted, and yes, I am trying to stop that thing. Because you can't actually be referencing me. There is no way that you can be referencing me. Clearly, you're talking about Dave here. Yeah.
I'll take the compliment. Why not?
God, Dave, you sexy beast. There you go. Good to see you, Gecko, and good to see you, Chelsea. Thanks for popping in. So yeah, I've not got round to playing that yet, and I would really love to. So I've got to get round to it. But that sounds like my kind of thing that I could just start in, try a level, and then come back. So we'll have to see. Anything else, or has that pretty much been your week that was in gaming?
I've been playing a bit of VR as well. I haven't tried out another level in Half-Life Alex, and I brought a game ages ago. I just thought I'd get back into it on the weekend. It was the Room VR. I think the Room games, were they on mobile to begin with, like escape room puzzle games? They brought this particular entry to VR. And it's really quite cool. You're trying to solve a mystery of someone who's disappeared, and the first main level takes you into like a sort of room in the British Museum that's full of like Egyptian artifacts, and you got solve puzzles with each of these things. It's pretty good. It had me stuck a few times. Thankfully, it's got a hint system to help push me along. So I had to use that once or twice, but it's very good, and it's cool in VR because it just feels like you're standing there looking around at all this cool stuff. So I'm enjoying that.
And have you walked into a wall yet? Because I'm still worried about you and your VR and the fact that
when I was playing Half-Life Alex the other week, I was going to throw a grenade. I was going to go overarm like that. I ended up punching a cabinet. And in VR, I dropped the grenade by my feet and boom, dead. The real world does get in the way of all the cool shit.
So you got hurt twice, basically. You not only you got blown up, you
real life and VR.
Oh dear. Mia, thank you so much for the 93 bits. The 93 call goes. Greatly appreciated. Chelsea said she really wants to go to an escape room. They'll be open. Give it a couple of months. They will be open. I think after June the 12th or something. I don't know.
Something like that.
Something like that. Things are going okay in the UK. We're getting there. So that's all good. Right, should we bring our guest in this evening?
Well, yeah, there's no point in leaving him out there.
No, it's not.
Wasting his time.
Yeah, just wait. It's not very nice. And do all this elaborate planning and then just leave him stand out. Ladies and gents, this very kind gentleman, I posted a thing in Berserk's Discord, for those that Berserk's Discord, and he was the first person to say, yeah, cool, count me in. I want to get on the chat show. So please welcome to the stream. We've got Mr. T-Funk Error. Welcome.
How's it going?
Good to have
How's it
you
going,
here.
guys? Thanks for
How you
having
doing?
me. Pretty good, pretty good.
So obviously you're a streamer. Tell us about some of the things that you stream, and there's T-Funk's channel if you want to check him out. Give him some love, give him a follow. Tell us about some of the things you stream and some of the other games that you might have been playing over the last couple of weeks.
I do a lot of military type games, some strategy games. But the thing is, I work away from home for 4 weeks. So then I come back for 4 weeks and I just stream for 4 weeks. So,
Nice.
So then it's every time I'm back, I call it a season. So
Right. Okay.
we're in season 4 right now.
Okay.
But I'm still fairly new to it, but I have a lot of fun. I do a lot of, I don't want to say cosplay, but just dress up silly and stuff like that. I do characters and things like that.
I checked out a couple of your streams, and the first one that popped up, which said it was one of the most popular, was you dressed as Elvis.
Oh, yeah. That was this weekend.
Yeah, that looked really good. And there was one where you were in a spacesuit as well?
Yeah, that's usually what I do.
Yeah.
I always got to have a costume on.
Nice.
Except for now, this is like all the movie magic is gone. It's just me.
Yeah.
But so.
No, it's still good. It's good to hear. But yeah, go check out any particular games that you've loved playing over the last couple of weeks.
I did a lot of PUBG before, but I kind of switch it up. There'd probably be Modern Warfare or Call of Duty Cold War. I don't know, maybe, but one that a lot of people don't know about is Elite Dangerous. That's kind of a space type of game. Not a lot of people know about, but it's a game that's been around forever. And they're just coming out with that new Odyssey update soon. I'm going to try to get in on that to start playing that.
There's one of the guys that we play CFEs with, and he's been banging on about Elite Dangerous probably for like the last 2-3 years.
Oh, yeah.
And if he's not playing Sea of Thieves, he's playing that. So I know that's the only reason I know it. But I remember, because I mean, going back in the 80s, I remember the original Elite game that was like out on Spectrums and Amstrads and Amiga and that. So I do remember that. So when, again, that's like, that game's huge. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's what I like about it. It's the whole galaxy just redone. So if you want to go to a planet, you can go. But I've been playing it for a while. I got some planets named after me and stuff like that. If you discover them, they'll say on the screen forever in the game, it's going to say T-Funk era discovered this. So if you see a planet, that one, I was there first.
Right. If you see that planet, if there's anyone who plays Elite Dangerous here, whether you're watching this now or watching on catch up, take a snapshot of it and send it to us, and I'll send it to T-Funk.
I want to see it.
Go, right, record your planets.
I want to see it. That's a good idea, man.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Should we get cracking with the show? We've got 7 games out in the last, I'll say, a couple of days and a couple of weeks. There's some from a couple of weeks before that I hadn't got info about, which have just come in. Probably the biggest, there's 2 kind of really big games. One came out last week and one literally landed today. We're going to start with the big one, which technically we still haven't got reviews for. A lot of people are holding out on reviews because, surprise, surprise, there was big server issues with it. This came out on April 3rd. I mean, we kind of knew that was going to happen. I've not streamed it yet. I'm streaming it on Friday on this channel because I thought I'll give it a week because if there's any major issues, they might get sorted out. But I have seen, funny enough, me and T-Funk were talking about Angry Joe. Angry Joe's video over the weekend.
That's what I went and I looked at that too, and he was flipping out. And I'm like,
let's have a look at that one.
Oh, yeah, just 10 minutes of hilarity, but for him, sheer pain because he must have spent 36 hours trying to get on the game, and every time they got so far, it'd freeze up or crash. I've never seen a guy. At one point, he goes to attack his teammates in the other room who were playing it. And they were like, well, we didn't cause the crash. And he goes storming in the other room, going,
yeah.
But let's like, well, we won't try and use that to cloud anyone's judgments. Let's check out the trailer for this. For anyone who's not watched the show, we play all the trailers for the game, so you get to know what we're talking about. We are going to show you the trailer for Outriders, which came out literally last Thursday on April Fool's. It's out on PS4, 5, all the Xboxes, PC, and Stadia. Let's check out the trailer for it, if I can find it. And while you're watching the trailer, we try and gather all the scores from basically all the reviews. Now, bearing in mind, there's been a lot of review previews. We haven't got any like official reviews. So let us know what you think this might be getting out of 10. I'll explain how I do the process, but chuck some scores in the chat out of 10, what you think it might be. But we're going to play the trailer, and then we'll be right back with our thoughts on this game. Here we go.
Here's the thing about power. Once you taste it, there's no going back. This planet tried to destroy us, to bring us to our knees. It failed. We arrived as explorers, pioneers, but we became something more, blurring the line between mortals and gods. The world order has changed. We were once prey. Now, we're the predators. If this world doesn't fear us yet, it will.
Okay, so that is Outriders. We talked about this on the show I think at the start of the year, Dave, like one of the big, out of all the games coming out. And I was quite intrigued by this, I'll be honest. Now I've seen other people streaming it and footage. I do have to say, my first impressions is it's Gears of War with magical powers. Do you think I'm
thinking that?
Yeah. I mean, what
It does seem to be a bit of the consensus, especially the way it looks. It does look very Gears of War like. I've only played a short bit of it. I've played through the initial, for about hour sort of prologue bit.
Yeah.
Which is that's a very cutscene heavy bit. You can't get much of a feel for the game. It's too many cutscenes in that, I swear. And I was going to try and play a bit more Sunday night, a bit more co-op with a friend because he'd got past that bit as well. But I just had problems with it. My friend was hosting the game, so I was joining his game, and 3 times in pretty quick succession, my game just kept crashing out to the Xbox home screen. I had to load the game up again, rejoined, crashed back out again. After the 3rd time, I thought, you know what, leave it for a week or so. Let's let it get patched, give them some time to fix things, and I'll try it again after that. So first impression, sadly not great, but
yeah,
it sounds like it's worth persevering with what other people are saying about it.
Yeah. There seems to be quite a few bugs in it. One that's common, and I actually saw another streamer that T-Funk might know, who's in the same group as I am. Was streaming it, if you're familiar with and I've seen this with other streamers as well. The whole HUD display disappeared, so you didn't know.
I've heard that's what's been happening to people, and then they don't know what to do because now they have no HUD.
Yeah.
So what do you do then? Do you quit or lose your progress, or is it save there, or restart it again and hope it does it again? That's just annoying. Shouldn't something so simple? But
it's one of those things. I'm hoping by the time we get to Friday, because it'll been over a week, we might get a patch. But even if it's totally broken, we're going to play it on Friday because it might make a funny stream. Well, if it was Angry Joe's case, he'd probably smash his computer. And Mia said, "What's his Twitch?" I don't know what his Twitch. I only watched it on YouTube. I know he's got a Twitch, but it is Angry Joe. So check out the Angry Joe show, and it'll be in there. So there you go. So that's it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, T-Funk, your thoughts on this? Is this something you're going to give a go?
Is this the new normal now? Is this a publicity stunt to bring a game out that's broken so that everyone will start talking about it? I mean, why do they all do it?
I don't know.
It just seems to happen, unfortunately, with these very big releases, especially when they're online.
It just seems like every one of them now is broken.
Until it gets to this point where it's out in the wild, you've got millions of people logging in. They haven't been able to simulate that in testing. So they've probably done QA with like a smaller number. It's all been looking rosy. Then it goes out. Millions of people try and log on and do stuff, and things just don't work quite as they expect. It's a shame, but it happens.
Didn't they have problems with the beta though? Because I heard that there was multiple crashes and fails. So wouldn't
there
that
might have been. I didn't try that out.
No, I didn't. So that to me, if you would send alarm bells ringing, going, yeah, we might need to get more servers or do whatever you need to do to stop that happening. But I mean, Anthem. I mean that game's dead and gone now. EA have washed their hands of it. But that weekend that came out, I didn't even bother trying to get on because all I could see was people. It was just cocking up. It was just not working. Server crashes, and this rings true. But you're right, T-Funk. There seems to be this whole thing of games that let's bring them out and then let's fix it after. And it don't wash really that.
You feel like a bit of a beta tester, don't you? Unfortunately.
Yeah.
The Arkham, what was it? Arkham Knight, I think, for Batman didn't have enormous problems. That wasn't even playable on PC when it just came out.
Yeah, it did.
I remember that was one of the first ones.
Yeah. PC version was absolutely shocking, which is mad because when it came out on the Xbox, it was actually all right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know it's a different platform and everything, but you think they'd test it enough to check that. So, yeah. So there you go. Hello, Lou, by the way. I have no idea what you're going on about the realm because I couldn't even get on the Minecraft realm, mate. For those who are wondering what he's on about, we have a Minecraft realm for our VIPs. It said the server was down, so we'll see. If it has blown up, I can get it back because it gives me 48 hours of saves. So don't worry, dude. I'll sort it when I get back on. But nice to have you here. So, I mean, out of interest, a lot of people haven't reviewed it because it's been such a problem to play over the last 4 or 5 days. There's been a lot of like people kind of doing reviews, but said, I'll do another couple of days and I'll do a review. There have been some reviews coming out for it. What do we reckon this has been generally getting out of 10 across the board? And chat, you can join in, chuck your scores into the chat, what you think this Outriders got out of 10. But Dave, I'll start with you because I'll come back to this when we do get the proper reviews, and we'll probably talk about next week's show. It'd be interesting to see how this differs because I think the scores are going to be very different.
My early impressions of it, I'd have to just go for, I'd say about a 7 at the moment.
Okay.
Haven't been able to play enough to tell you for truth.
Yeah. What do you reckon, T-Funk?
6. Like you were saying, Gears of War over again with magic. I hope it's got some innovative mechanics or something like that to kind of. But I saw the monsters that have mouths instead of heads, and I was like, I've seen this all before, you know.
Yeah, they're not very familiar. I'm sure they've been ripped out of another game. Mia says an 8.5 out of 10. Hello, Foxy. What does the fox say? Lady Red says I'll follow with a 6 as well. Well, on average, it's difficult. I've kind of got to give it 2 scores here. I can't give you an average score, but it's been coming out with 7s and 8s at the moment.
Money, Dave.
Yeah, there you go. Right, here, Dave's fan club's in tonight.
Lovely.
Good to have you here, Foxy. It's a 7 or 8s, but I would be interested to see after a week's gone by what the proper review scores come out as. Because if it is like it is, and there's not, as T-Funk, if there's no special mechanics or anything that separates this from anything else, I think that score is going to drop down to a 6 like you guys, 6 or maybe 7 or something, I reckon. So we'll have to see. But if you want to give it a try, I mean, it's free on Xbox. What's weird is on PC Game Pass, it's not free. I don't know why they've done that. That's really bizarre. But on Stadia, PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, you've got to pay for it. Xbox One, Series S and X, it's free if you've got Game Pass. So if you want to give it a whirl, give it a whirl. As I say, I'm going to stream it on Friday night show, and we'll see what it's like. So there we go. On to another game, completely worlds apart from Outriders. This is a game that actually came out September last year on the old gen, and now they've upgraded it and given it a next-gen version for, obviously, Xbox and PS5. For those who have been missing their tennis this summer, I ain't one of them, I'll be honest. This is Tennis World Tour 2 Complete Championship Edition. Have a look at the trailer and then we'll talk tennis. Here we go.
We all dream to lift the cup, to play like no one has before. But wait, do you know what it takes to win? Leave nothing to chance. Put it all on the line. Give it everything you've got. And take control of the court. Your path to victory starts now.
There we go. Tennis, everyone. Dave, tennis fan?
I'll watch it occasionally, but I'm not a massive fan of it. I mean, looking at that in the trailer, though, it looked very good graphic-wise, didn't it? You could almost be mistaken for it being real if you weren't aware. I thought it looked very good.
It looked all right to me. I'm not a tennis fan. I try not to watch it. T-Funk, tennis sport of choice, or wouldn't bother with it?
I've played it a few times for fun. I don't really watch it though, but I remember sometimes. But maybe it's a fun game, and it's not made by EA, so right.
It could be good.
Right. You don't have a crate where you have to pay $20 to get a new different colored tennis racket and open it up. Take a chance. Maybe they have that in there. But,
green tennis ball, yellow tennis ball, $40 difference.
That's true. But if it's where you could make your own character, make it looks like you for free, and then play tennis. If you like tennis, it's probably a good game. Yeah,
it looks good. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think I would ever play it. It's not I'm not a big sports game. There's only a few sports games I might dabble in. So, I mean, even Lady Red just said, yeah, just quoted you. So, there you go. I think for people who would love tennis games, I think they would lap this up, especially as now it's given the next gen treatment. If they haven't already bought it September last year, they can. This literally came out 2 weeks ago, 25th of March. This one came out. I mean, what do we reckon this got scores wise? Out of 10. The reviews came out pretty much end of last week. I'll start with you, T-Funk. What do you reckon this got?
5. I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't look it up, but I know there hasn't been one out since 2018. So
that's right. Yeah.
There's a hole in the market for a tennis game, a good tennis game. So maybe.
Dave, what do you reckon?
I'll go for a 7. It looks like it should be reasonably solid from looking at it there.
Okay. Lady Red says 6.5. Well, I can tell you, Dave, yet again, unless you've been nicking my notes, and I don't know how you do it, so you must have a camera in the studio. I don't know how you do it.
You'll never find it.
It got a 7 out of 10. They said it's a perfectly decent port of the last one. It's a perfectly decent tennis game, but I think the people who reviewed it were like, well, it's tennis.
Yeah, that's it.
If you like, I was thinking 5. I'm like, but is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. It's tennis.
Yeah, no, it's tennis. I think what they're saying is it's a good compared to a lot of sporting games. Like if you take EA and say like with FIFA 21, where they basically announced on it that we've used the same core mechanic that we've lasted 2 years, we've just slapped some new skins on it, and we're charging you $60 or 60 quid or whatever. At least they've made an effort with this. So I think a 7 out of 10 for a sporting game is perfectly acceptable. So there you go. Lady Red. Yeah, or you could play Wii tennis if you still got a Nintendo Wii. That's probably
that was probably the last tennis game I actually played.
I think so, me too. Nintendo, the first Nintendo, and then Wii tennis one night. I don't think I've ever played another one.
There was Mario tennis on the NES, wasn't there? Or Mario was the umpire or something, wasn't he?
Well, actually, Mario Tennis is still going. There's a Switch version, I think, from last year that came out. That's still going.
I know they're doing Mario Golf now.
Oh, yeah, Mario seems to play a lot of sports. He goes to the Olympics occasionally with Sonic as well.
You'd think that with all that exercise, he would lose weight. He's still a tubby little fella, isn't he? Bless him.
Oh, stuffing his face with pasta.
That's the problem.
A lot of carbs.
There you go. Whoever his personal trainer is needs firing, and he needs to sort that out for him. He needs to look more like his brother, tall and lanky. But there you go. There you go, folks. That's Tennis World Tour, which came out on Thursday, the 25th of March. Gets a 7 out of 10. It's out for the Series S and X and PS5. So let's go talking about some news. And again, it's come back to haunt me. I had a massive rant on this channel last week. Dave knows exactly what I'm going to say. All about Cyberpunk's fantastic brand new 40 gig update that literally did fuck all. I'm going to try not to have a rant this week because I watched it back today and it was a 5-minute rant, wasn't it, Dave?
You went on a bit, mate. I was getting bored.
Bless you. You got bored. I think you started reading the newspaper while I was ranting. I don't know. But so as I said, because we basically, I had a go at them about this because it had only been 24 hours since the patch came out, and it's very clear. And I without trying to say I told you so, it was pretty obvious that they hadn't fixed. They've fixed certain things, but they hadn't fixed on a lot of things that they said. And I said, if anyone can prove me wrong, please do so. Please tell me if the game's running better. Now, what I'm hearing is graphically, the PlayStation versions are now a lot better than they were. People are saying PC version, you cannot tell the difference. And I think you said this, Dave, last week. And Xbox is, again, can't tell any difference. And the core mechanics that they added into the game to make it better are still not working properly. And surprise, surprise, they've caused more bugs to appear in the game that weren't there before. So on some of the Xbox Ones and PlayStation versions, there's hang-ups with the vehicles. You can get stuck on little curbs and now your car won't move. You're literally stuck there and you're screwed. There's been certain animations that don't work now that used to work. So they've basically ended up doing this thing where they've chucked more bugs in. On top of that, and I'm keeping my calm here, I didn't actually realise they were doing this. But apparently they were going to add a multiplayer thing to this. Now, why on earth anyone thought that adding a multiplayer version into a role-playing game is a good idea is beyond me. But now they've turned around and gone, actually, we're probably going to postpone that, or we might just not do it at all. Which doesn't surprise me because they're so far behind with the game anyway. But then what makes me laugh is they're all behind in their plans for the game. And yet they quite happily announced their 2022 plans for the game. Why, when you haven't even got the 2021 plans? Saying that they're going to continue to do stuff like this. And they're bringing out the next-gen versions of The Witcher 3, and they're adding more stuff to Gwent. And then they're going to concentrate on the next Witcher game. I mean, without going into a rant, and it's going to go into a rant, I just can't stop myself. Don't you think they should sort their shit out for 2021 before even announcing? Because after this stuff, I think they're going to say, they've proved that after the stuff they announced for this year, they failed on. So why even bother mentioning next year? Dave, I'm going to start with you because I'm stopping myself from ranting here, but you can see.
Oh, they'll probably announce some of the stuff for next year just to keep like shareholders happy. No, they're doing stuff and they're going to be earning them some money. But from our point of view, we're not that interested. We just want, Cyberpunk fixed. I can see it's still going to take some time to do because, as you say, the patch. Clearly, looking at those patch notes are released, they fixed a lot of stuff in there. A lot of it you're probably never going to notice. Yeah. But yet there's still bugs in there. I mean, I just saw some of the general animation ones when I was playing over the weekend. I had someone who was meant to be leaning against a car who'd actually become one with the car. They were partially inside it. And another person standing behind a bar who I just went to talk to, see what happened. They very briefly T-posed before going back to their normal animation. Instead of talking like a bartender, they just said they were waiting for a friend. If they're working behind a bar, I'd at least be able to buy a drink from them. No, just a few little dappets. I had nothing particularly game breaking. It still played well on the PC. I still had fun playing it, but it's still got these little just bugs here and there that you're just going to come across. It's just going to take a while for it to all get fixed up.
And we got no indication of when because this, bearing in mind, folks, for those who are not with us on this, the update that came out last week was supposed to be the February update. It came out at the end of March. And it was supposed to be a March update. And we got no idea when that's coming out. That's how far behind they are with this stuff. So we're going to have to see what happens. But, I mean, see, have you even tried playing this? Or are you like, whoa,
no.
Welcome.
I never played it. I heard one thing about it because my thoughts were, I didn't know what kind of a game it was going to be. And then it's a first-person shooter. But then in my mind, I'm thinking you spend most of the game trying to upgrade your body, right? To do different types of things. Why can't you see it unless you look in a mirror or something? And I'm like, why would they do that? And then I was thinking, well, I don't think it sounds too fun as a first person shooter. I thought it'd be like a third person. I'm like, well, that'd be cool if you could, your bionic parts and stuff, you could see something happening. But then it's been broken and everything. So it's broken. Maybe I'll play it someday when it's free on Game Pass or something.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I wouldn't be surprised it'll be free on Game Pass next year at the rate it's going.
Is it really their fault, though? I'm thinking, did the two big companies say, like, you got to put this out for our new consoles because we don't have much content for these new consoles, so you need to put it out?
Well, you say that, but originally it was supposed to come out April of last year, and I think this is the issue. And this is what it says to me. Obviously, it got delayed 3 times last year before coming out.
I remember that.
When it come out, the new consoles are out. They haven't even got the new console version. Allegedly, was supposed to come out January this year. That's not even going to come out until Christmas this year. So the question is, if they were working on the old gen release, why were the old gen releases so bad? Because they've not even got the next gen one ready. Basically, we're playing the old gen version on new gen machines.
It's bizarre.
So,
the whole thing is bizarre.
Yeah. I mean, they've turned around and said, look, and again, I think Dave would agree, this is probably for their shareholders more than anything. We've heard about the stories about that they're putting all the pressure on the workforce and then working stupid hours and something ridiculous to get this out for this deadline, which clearly they shouldn't have done. And they've said, look, we're trying to bring more people in so that we can work on this Witcher free thing as well as Cyberpunk. And we're not going to be giving them so many hours and we're trying to do this and that, which is fine. But it's kind of like, but you promised stuff before. They did a big thing in January saying they were sorry, and they promised. They failed on that. Then they did this thing for last week. They made promises. They failed on that. I don't really care now what they say because I don't think they'll ever meet any deadlines ever again.
It's synonymous with being broken now for forever. You'll think cyberpunk and you'll think it's broken.
Yeah.
That is its legacy now. Doesn't matter if they fix it up completely and it's the best game ever at the end of the day. Its legacy is a broken mess.
People lose interest because we're coming up to 6 months that game's been out. And well, 5 months, give or take. I think it's 6 months next month in May. But people will just be like, so what? And I think when it does finally get the new version out, whenever it is, I don't think people will care. I think they'll have lost it. There'll be loads of games that have come out since then, and it'll just pass us by, unfortunately. But
maybe they'll time it for Game Pass when the next gen version comes out. A way to get people back into it. That'd be a good way for them to do it.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they then go to PlayStation. Well, we're really sorry what happened. You took your game off our stores. Please put it on Sony. What's Sony's version? I can always get this wrong. Sony's version is what?
Oh, they've got PS Now where you can stream stuff from. They could just put it on PS Plus as a free game for a month.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. They'll probably for a month and go, here, have this to make up for it. Oh, we'll see. Hello, Discord. Cheers. All right. There you go. Right. Let's move on with some more new games because I'm fed up of talking about Cyberpunk. And hopefully we'll get
next week.
Yeah, it'll probably be more news stories. And sorry, Mia, I know you hate Cyberpunk, but we had to bring it up. So there you go. Here we go. So next game. This also came out on Thursday the 25th. It came out on PC and Stadia Christmas last year. It's now getting its console version. It's out on Xbox One, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. This is the rather fascinating Hijo, which is a Wild West tale. Let's have a look at the trailer, see what we think, and we'll be right back after this. Now, annoyingly, it's one of those trailers that doesn't show you any bloody gameplay, but I can say after seeing some gameplay, the graphical style is very close to that kind of cartoon. It's very cartoony style kind of game. It's a puzzler where you have to solve little things, and it looks very comical. I'll go with T-Funk. Is this the kind of thing you would go? Because there's a bit of a strategy element to it. Is this something you would give a whirl?
Maybe if I was younger, probably. But I like the idea of it. It seems like you're a little kid and you're trying to. I saw a gameplay trailer and it kind of looks like you have to pull little tricks and traps on guards and stuff like that to rescue other children and stuff. I mean, yeah, that's a good idea for a game, I would think. For younger kids, probably.
I would say if Dave's mentioned it earlier. One game that let's think, mate. Desperados 3. It's like a kids-friendly version of Desperados because you have to use the strategy to go at different times and do different things and distract guards and get people out. Dave, would you give that a whirl, seeing that you've been playing a lot of Desperados?
Yeah, as you say, it does look quite a lot like it. I was looking at a few screenshots and some gameplay trailers earlier. And you do get the same feel from it. It's got the same sort of isometric viewpoint. But I guess instead of having like the weapons to take people out like you do in Desperados, because you're a 6-year-old, you're not going to be knifing people or stuff like that. So it's going to be a game about distractions, isn't it? Find ways to distract them, then sneak past them. So it might be quite good. A bit of a different way to play it than Desperados. But yeah, I'd say I'd perhaps give it a go. It'd be more something I'd play if it came on Game Pass.
Yeah. It's not. Unfortunately, it's one you have to buy at the moment. But I wouldn't be surprised if it does come on to Game Pass.
Give it time. Might well do.
What do we reckon this got out of 10 on the reviews when it came out? Just under 2 weeks ago, this came out. T-Funk, I'll start with you.
I'm going to say 7.
Okay.
So it looks kind of innovative.
Yeah. Dave?
I'll go one higher. I'll go for 8.
Okay. If anyone else wants to have a guess in the chat, Discord's going on about the season pass for. Are you telling me that even though there's only like 1 day or 2 days left on season 1 of Sea of Thieves, are you telling me that now it says 2 weeks? Because if so, I've grinded the hell out of that to get the 100 level bloody thing, so I didn't have to bother. Okay, if you can confirm that for me, even though we're not talking Sea of Thieves. There you go. Right, I can confirm that it got, and Dave's got this right again, 8 out of 10. I'm still looking for that hidden camera.
I told you won't find it.
Probably won't. There was a fly buzzing around here earlier.
Dave is on fire with the ratings. Wow.
I'm good at guessing.
Last week, we did a mammoth 16 games. Sorry. I think there was only 2 or 3. He didn't get the score right.
Impressive.
And I was like...
Was it that many? I didn't realize I got that many right.
Literally a handful. Because at one point, I was like, how's he doing this? I think I'm going to have a nervous breakdown, like if you don't get one wrong. But there you go. So there you go, folks. That's El Hijo Wild West Tale out on Xbox One, PS4, Switch. Came out on Thursday the 25th. Gets an 8 out of 10. Also available on PC and Stadia, but came out last Christmas if you want to check it out on that. A game that Dave mentioned, another game that Dave was giving a try. We're going to play the trailer for this. This was a game that originally came out on PC, I think just over a year ago. Was it 2019, 2020? I think.
Yeah, I think so. Been out a while over there.
And now it's been given a bit of a rehaul. But not only coming back on PC as a new version, but it's on Stadia and PS4 and 5. No Xbox release as it stands. But we'll see, because I'm sure it will appear at some point. This is Disco Elysium, the Final Cut. We're going to play the trailer, and then we're going to talk about what we think about this. Here we go.
In the great city, at the end of the world, there's a dead body behind the hostile cafeteria. And a strike that's about to become a war. Precinct 57 sent their finest. Precinct 41 sent you. Prove them wrong. or lose your mind. Disco Elysium, the final cut.
So there we go. Disco Elysium, the final cut. A game that got very high scores when it came out in the first place. But now, could it be even better? One of the biggest thing they've done is nearly all the dialogue has been voice recorded, because it was originally... Dave, am I right in this thing? There was hardly any voice dialogue originally. Is that correct?
I'm trying to think. There wasn't any. There might be like a very minimum bit of voice dialogue before. So yeah, it's a very text-heavy game as well. Yeah, so it's quite nice having the voice there.
And they've literally recorded every single character and every single voice on it to upgrade it. So, right, I've just seen that Discord. I'll sort it. Lou already warned me. I'll have a look. Don't worry. There's problems with the servers anyway, so I'll sort it. Yeah, so, I mean, this potentially, even though it came out a year ago, could be Game of the Year this year if they've done a good job with it. Dave, tell us about your thoughts on playing it, because you've obviously played it this last week.
Yeah, I've played a couple of hours. Still only very early days on it. Just still getting to grips with it. It's a very, say, text-heavy game. So there's lots of text there to read, but you've got the voiceover now to sort of help you. But it does definitely feel a bit different to the games you might be used to in like the RPG genre, because instead of like, having lots of characters, say, talking to you or as part of it, like your team, you've got all these inner parts of your psyche that sort of jump into the conversation. And it's like add little bits, like logic jumps in, and your encyclopedic knowledge jumps in with like bits of information. Because when you start the game, your character seems to have been like an absolutely massive bender and cannot remember a thing about who they are, what they're even doing, that they're even a police detective, that they're even there to solve a mystery. You just go around talking to a few people, and they're slowly giving you information that you're trying to sort of work out. Again, with your inner psyche, trying to work out all these little bits that you're meant to be doing. So it feels quite different, and it feels very much like a sort of tabletop RPG, because it's even got bits with like dice rolls, where it sort of tells you what your percentage chance is to do something, and it does a little dice roll on the screen. You either get good numbers or bad, and it passes or fails. So it seems really good at the moment, but I think there's quite a lot that I'm still going to have to play through to give you like a final opinion on it. But it's just a couple of hours, very good.
Okay. T-Funk, your thoughts on this? Is it something you would give a try?
Yeah, I'd take a whack at this one, because I was confused looking at the trailer, because I'm like, I don't know what this is about at all, which interests me because I don't understand it. But then if you're telling me your own voice in your head is talking to you, and those are the characters you're talking to instead of just NPCs, that's interesting right there. I think that's different. I've never seen anything like that. So I'd probably give that a go. If you're saying it's going to be Game of the Year, I mean, that's usually, if they are, that's interesting stuff.
Cool.
I'd give it a whack.
Okay. What do we reckon? Now, I'm going to tell you what it originally got when it came out. When the first reviews came out on PC, it got like a whopping 9 out of 10 across the board from different gaming sites, etc. What do we reckon that this brand new version, literally just over a year and a half since the original version came out, has got? Do we think it's better, or do we think it's worse? Let's start with T-Funk.
I'm going to say a 9.
Okay.
9.
So pretty much just as good as it was. They've just added some bits to it.
If they've improved it, it should be right where it was.
Okay. Dave?
I'll be different. I'll just try for the 10. See if people reckon it was better.
Okay. Bearing in mind, we've never had a game on this show that's got a 10 out of 10, ever. You're going to go for a 10?
Go on. Why not?
Okay. All right.
I can't see your notes very well, so I'm just going to guess.
Oh, good. Right. I'm glad. I closed the book. So, yeah, there you go. Do you want to have a quick look? There you go. Well, Dave, damn you. It got a 10 out of 10.
His bug is working that he's got in your house.
Yes. As well, and he wouldn't have it. He was like, "No, I'm sticking with a 10." Like, you sure? No,
nice job, Dave.
You should 100%. I think you should play poker. You'd be very good at it. But yeah, it's a massive whopping 10 out of 10. And that's what makes me think that this potentially could be one of the big games of the year. I expect to see this on a lot of top 10 lists this year. And if it makes its way to Xbox, I would give it a whirl. It's just a shame it's not on Xbox at the moment, but you can get it on PlayStation, you can get it on PC and Stadia. Not that anyone plays Stadia, but there you go. But if you're one of those few people out there, good for you.
You've got a new game.
Tell the other guy that plays Stadia, and you guys can play it together. You two.
Oh dear. But yeah, so there you go. Disco Elysium gets a whopping 10 out of 10. That actually came out on Tuesday last week, Tuesday the 30th. We didn't have the reviews because the reviews came out after we did the show last week, so I held that one off. But yeah, definitely go check it out. I would love to try that game. Going to go on to a little bit more news. This is something that obviously T-Funk was talking about, that he likes to play Call of Duty games. We talked about this on the show quite a few weeks back, that if you have a PlayStation 5 and you have Warzone with all the patches and Cold War, you can't fit both games onto the hard drive. In fact, you can't even have more than 2 games on. It's incredibly, the patch sizes are so huge. And we were saying, well, that's ridiculous. People are having to uninstall it. And I've spoken to people that have done it. However, they finally got it cracked, and they've basically said that there's an update that's come out which will literally reduce Cold War down to 10 gig with everything included, and Warzone down to 36 gigabytes. Obviously, you need to do a big update to do that, but then it shrinks the file sizes down. And we've seen this with other games. Sea of Thieves did it a year and a half ago, and it worked brilliantly because that game was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But that's worked. And they've even said that in a few weeks' time, if you're using all the extra graphical patches and that, which do take up a lot of the space, they're even doing truncated versions of those to support the game. Do you think, guys, one is clearly a good thing because it means that you can play more than 2 games on your PS5 now, which is a good start. But do we think that more games should do this? I'll start with T-Funk on this one.
I might be wrong about this, but didn't a user come up with this idea to shorten the load times or something like that? Then told them about it?
That was with...
Or was it something different?
It
was GTA.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So, and because they shortened the load times, they gave him $10,000.
Yeah.
Rockstar paid him because they were this is amazing, which I think is really cool. That was about 2 weeks ago. I think
so. I read about that.
Yeah, but if there's more people, modders there that are doing stuff like that, I think that's a bonus. I think Rockstar again should get a round of applause for doing that, because they were like, "You've just solved the problem for us. Thank you very much. Here's 10 grand." So
nice for the consult, and then gave it to them.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I think it's brilliant.
But if it's going to be, if you can only have 2 games on that brand new machine because they're so large, that's kind of crazy. They got to do something.
Yeah. Lady Red says, been about those loading times were fixed. Yeah, they've sorted those loading times now. It's good. But I think what we're talking about more is the size it takes up on the hard drive. So if now they're saying that, a game that was like ridiculous hundreds of gigabytes is now been shrunk down to 10 gigabytes, surely that's a win-win for everyone. But do you think there's more games that should do this? Because there's some games, let's say, how big is Elite Dangerous? Does that take up a lot of space, for instance? Because that's a game, or is that not?
I think it's about maybe 10 gigabyte or something.
Okay,
it's not that big.
Yeah,
it's totally online the whole time, though. I guess Warzone is too. But I know I've uninstalled it and reinstalled it a couple times to make room, and it's not that bad.
Yeah. Oh, Discord, who I said plays. Oh, Discord's got a 36 gigabyte version. You've got interesting.
Is it 36?
Yeah,
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
That's still not too bad at all, considering. But I know Discord. I said earlier on the show that he plays Elite Dangerous a lot. But there you go. Oh, there you go. 20.4. He's just confirmed it on Xbox. It's 20.4, which ain't too bad at all. But yeah, there's more games that should do it, definitely. Dave, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think they need to, really. If they can reduce the footprint, I think they've got to do it, especially for those games that you're going to be keeping on your drive for a long time. Something like Warzone, people are going to be dipping in and out pretty regularly.
Yeah.
If it was like a game that was like, only a 10-hour game you're going to play through once, you perhaps won't mind so much because you'll install it, play it, stuff it off. But these are the big multiplayer ones. They do need to get a bit smaller, especially as well since the price to expand your storage on the newer consoles is way more expensive, isn't it? If you want to expand the SSD storage, which will £100 easy, and not many people can afford that.
It's isn't like $300 or 250 quid over here or something crazy like that at the moment to buy that storage.
I think it's about $220-230 for the Xbox storage. PS5 you can't do it yet. But
No,
the prices when they do release it.
Yeah, that's be a thing.
Does it come with a game? Jeez.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, just to put games on the console, you've got to spend that much. It's nearly half the price of the new consoles.
That's kind of crazy.
Hello, Joron. How are you? Oh, Discord says the Xbox One is £219. He's been Googling it. So there you go. Joron's still been locked in my basement, apparently. Apparently, I didn't give him food while I was having the weekend off. Well, at least you're not dead, so at least that's fine. So there's a running gag that Joron's locked in my basement.
You haven't fed him, but he's still got Wi-Fi, so he's doing all right.
He's still got Wi-Fi. He's all right. He doesn't need to eat or drink. He's just got Wi-Fi. He's fine. He turns up for the chat show. It's all good. That's all he needs. He lives off energy. Plugs it, licks his fingers, plugs it in, put into an electrical socket, keeps him going. There you go. There you go.
All right.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. We'll keep him going. We're gonna go on to some more new games come out. I say new again. This is about 2 weeks ago. This one came out, but again, the reviews have only just started to surface for this one. This is nothing to do with Batman. I'm going to tell you that now. As stupidly I thought when I saw the title of it, but this is Arkham Horror, a Mother's Embrace, which is more to do with the Lovecraftian stuff, and it's based on a board game, but it's the first time it's been changed into a computer game. We're going to check out the trailer, and then we'll discuss and see what you think. This is Arkham Horror, Mother's Embrace.
Peggy 16.
Science is full of phenomena that appear miraculous, even to trained scientists. Through these telescopes, I first gazed with wonder at the stars and the vast voids between them. What began as scientific curiosity became obsession. That obsession led to a madness that consumed me.
Professor, was that you?
And so my friends set out to discover how I was killed. I'm inexpressibly sorry that investigating my death brought you to such a dire end.
This wasn't just a burglary.
Who are you?
Roland Banks. The Bureau has evidence that others are trying to involve her in some shady business.
This, my friends, is a grimoire, a book of spells.
Who are you people?
Whatever she was researching, it was far more than that promise.
There is any mercy in this world. The secrets we uncovered will die with me.
I hear voices echoing inside my head.
What is that abomination?
Taking control of this little city is but a tiny fraction of our preparation. We have to put an end to this madness.
Welcome to my mansion, my friend. No place feels more like home to me.
I got the words, I got the tune. I've been rehearsing under the moon, but I got nobody.
So there we go. That is Arkham Horror, Mother's Embrace, which came out 2 Tuesdays ago. It's out on all the Xboxes, all the PlayStations, Switch, and PC. Joron's already jumped in there and says 8 out of 10. Game looks good. I have to say, again, doesn't show any gameplay in that trailer, which does annoy me. I have seen some gameplay, and again, it caught my eye, and I thought this looks quite good. The action and combat bits are very similar to John Wick Hex, which came out last year. You plan the way you're going to shoot. The characters and everything are based in like the Prohibition era. So if you don't know what that is, think of Untouchables, Al Capone, that kind of era. So you play as a detective trying to solve the murder, but it's very Lovecraftian. It's not all about gangsters. It's got all sorts of stuff going on. As I say, it's all to do with like the H.P. Lovecraft stuff. So weird shit's going to happen. But that's what it is. A couple of people getting the scores in. So Discord says 7 out of 10. Hello, Kuda. Well, good to see you. 7 out of 10 from Kuda. Before we give the scores and stuff, Dave, what are your thoughts on this?
I thought it looked quite nice. I like the graphical style it's gone for. It's pretty cool. And I always quite like a decent mystery game. As well, if it's got a bit of horror thrown in, that can be quite cool. And turn-based combat might be quite good. I used to quite like the turn-based combat in the old XCOM games I used to play a long time ago. So if it's similar to that, I could get involved in that.
T-Funk, do you think this would be a strategy game you might like?
I don't really like the 20s Prohibition era too much, so I don't know. It's cool if it was out your thing. It looks like it. They did a good job with it, but not really my cup of tea. But maybe I'll give it a shot sometime. Not sure.
Okay. Kuda says, thanks for tuning in. He's standing in line for his first visor shot. I appreciate that, dude. You're watching us while you're in line for that. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Why not?
Cool.
Nice, anything else to do? Might as well watch this. So good on you. Good on you, my friend. Well, so the scores are coming in quite high from most people. 7s and 8s by the looks of it in the chat. T-Funk, what do you reckon this got?
I think I'm going to rip off the chat and probably say 7.
Okay.
I would say 7. Yeah.
Going for a 7. Lady Red says a 6. Dave?
I'll try for an 8. No idea about this one.
Yes! He's got it wrong.
Oh.
It was going to happen eventually.
But do you know what? This is probably going to shock a lot of people. It got a 5 out of 10.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that at all.
No. And after I watched the reviews, I was like, oh, okay. They've basically said, yes, it looks great. The idea of it is great. It is a very clunky game. How you change between the two characters is very clunky. Yes, it's got the action turn-based shooting thing, but that doesn't even really pull it off very well. And just generally, it makes for a very mediocre game at best, unfortunately. So sadly, it's a 5 out of 10 for that one. God, how am I supposed to pronounce that, Kuda? Yeah, hard to tell without gameplay. Exactly.
Yeah.
But go check out the game. Even though I watched some gameplay trailers, I was like, that looks good. But there you go. So it's one of them. So unfortunately, Arkham Horror, Mother's Embrace, which came out on Tuesday the 23rd for all the Xboxes, PS5, Switch and PC, only gets a 5 out of 10.
Clearly needed Batman in it, didn't it?
It needed Batman. Yeah, that would have sorted it. Batman and Al Capone. There's a game that's probably...
I'd play that.
That'd probably be worse, actually. We won't bring that up again. But we'll see. But now going to another very strange game. A very much loved character on this one. This literally landed today, so I haven't got any review scores for it. It came out on PS4 and 5. It is free on PS Plus. So if you got PlayStation, get it. I saw people streaming it this afternoon. If you remember Abe from Oddworld, this is the new Oddworld game. This is Oddworld Soulstorm. And we're going to play the trailer for this, and we will see what people think. Here we go.
Find yourself and see. It's the only way. You will know who we really are.
What?
There's these rumors been spreading around about uprisings and train hijacking.
You woke me for silly conspiracy theories? Damn it, there is no Abe guy. There is no uprising. We know this because never in history has a Mudakin beaten a Gluckin ever.
So there you go. That is Oddworld Soulstorm. Basically, anyone who's familiar with any of the games, Eggs Odyssey. This one, if you like watching his fellow companions getting mashed to bits, blown up, shot across the screen, this game is going to be absolutely for you. From what I saw on the footage of people streaming it this afternoon, it looks incredibly fun, but also quite difficult. I think the difficulty curve on it could be quite challenging because it's not just a platformer, it's a puzzler platformer. Dave, I've never played any of the other Abe's Odyssey games or anything, so I don't really know much about it apart from the character. Dave, do you know much about this or tried any of the other games?
I missed all the original ones when they were out on the original PlayStations. Never got into them back then. The only Oddworld game I ever played, I think it was Stranger's Wrath, which was an FPS on the original Xbox.
Right.
That was all right. Never finished that one, but it was a completely different type of game to these ones. I'll probably give this one a go because you say it's on PS Plus, so I'll go and download it later on. It looks quite good. I like platforming, I like puzzling. I'm going to give it a go. Hopefully it'll be good.
Okay. Tiefan, your thoughts on it?
I have also never played it, but I know a lot of people said that the story is good, the whole world is good, and it was very popular when it first came out, but I never got around to playing it. But I'm glad that the people that are fans of it will get to see it and get a good quality game.
Yeah.
Or people that have been waiting for a new one to come out will get to play it again. That's always good that a franchise can be this, live around this long.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think this has been in the works for a couple of years now, hasn't it? I kept hearing things about 2 years ago about this, and hopefully it's paid off. I say we haven't had any reviews for it. It literally, people started streaming it from this afternoon, so we probably won't see reviews for another couple of days, but we'll let people know on the show next week what the scores are. But I'd like to think this would get some really good scores for this. If I had a PlayStation, I'd give it a well. It looks great, I have to say. Discord, yeah, I can't talk backwards. There's no way I can do that. You can hold that command until next week. But I did change the lights for you because you redeemed the light change, so that's fine, dude. Done that. But yeah, we'll save that till tomorrow on Sea of Thieves. I'll play the game backwards or whatever. Yeah, but if I start talking backwards, we'll be here for the next week trying to understand what I'm saying. So talking of PlayStation stuff, before we move on to our last game, there's been a franchise that has been basically a PlayStation exclusive for like the last 7 years. And that game is MLB The Show, which is the baseball game. Has always been on PlayStation, never been on any other platforms until now. Because literally, Xbox have done it again, which is probably going to piss Sony off. But not only is MLB going to be cross-platform, so you can get it on PC. I don't know about Switch, but it's coming to Xbox and PlayStation. But when it comes to Xbox, it's going to be free on Game Pass as of day one. So for people who love playing it on the PlayStation, I think they're going to be a bit peeved. I have never played these games. I'm not a big baseball person, I'll be honest. But again, do you think this is a very clever move? Do you think Xbox chatted to them and went, look, we'll do something for you? And again, like they've done with Bethesda and all these other things, like they've done with Outriders, here, have it free. Pulling people away from PlayStation again. Dave, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, yeah, it's a good way to do it, isn't it? I'm sure they're probably throwing a good amount of money the MLB's way to sort that deal out, especially get it on Game Pass. But it's a good way to get it out to more people as well who probably wouldn't be remotely interested in baseball.
Yeah,
I've got to be honest, I'm not remotely interested in baseball. But, knowing it's there for free, maybe if I've got a few minutes spare one day, could have a look, see what it's all about. Yeah. There'll probably be a lot of other people doing that as well. And then they can play with the PlayStation people who are fuming having to pay full price for it. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like, obviously there's quite a few games, and I'm not trying to bring up EA again, but games like Madden and hockey, the NHL hockey, if I got that right. Yeah. Obviously, I've got a bigger fan base in America. So I would think, because there's like Xbox, Microsoft in America obviously does fairly well, whereas PlayStation does better in other countries in Europe and stuff. Do you think it's like, right, we've got the ideal market for this, so we want to get it out on Xbox because we know, the fans love baseball, so they want to try it. Is that kind of thing? What do you think, Tifa?
There's I think it's going to have a better audience here probably, and that's probably why Xbox put it out for for you and your friends when you were playing baseball as a kid, little league and stuff. That's like I think it's great that it's free because then now you don't have to give $60 to buy one baseball game, and then your friend, if you wanted to play at home to play baseball with, they got to shell out $60. Now it's free; you both can get it. Another aspect of these sports games over here, I don't know if you guys know about it, is people that bet on these games and just let the computer play these games. Like they do a lot with that, with Madden and stuff like that. Computer versus computer, and then just set it up and play and then bet money on it.
Really?
Yeah, that's a big thing over here, but a lot of people are talking about it.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'd never heard of that.
Yeah. So that might be a thing coming around with that, why they're making it free too. But it's great that it's free. I'm a big Xbox fan. I have been a long time.
Nice. So is this something you're definitely I haven't got a release date for this yet, but I know it's coming soon. So I think it might be next month, I think.
I'm not sure if it'll be because, I got the Game Pass and there's 150 games on there. And it's like, there's other ones I want to get to first. It's like a lot of stuff, but I don't know, maybe someday.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sports games usually never get me going too much though. But maybe when the World Series is out, I might start watching it. Baseball season just started too. So
nice. I think this is perfect timing for this then. I think it is May, start of May this comes out. So it's only 3-4 weeks away before it comes out. Yeah. So we'll see how we go. Hello, Demon Angel. Thanks for the lurk. Thanks for being here. Appreciate that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I think it's a great move. And again, I've always been pro Xbox, and I always make the joke that I'm bashing PlayStation, but because the amount of shit I've had to take for years that PlayStation is always better than Xbox. But I seriously, again, using the analogy, they're knocking it out of the park with this one. I think this is great. Even if it's a game that I'm not interested in, I think it's great because, as you said, a load of people are going to want to get this. A load of people play it, and I think this is a great market that they've gone for. So Microsoft can do no wrong at the moment by doing this. So keep doing what you're doing, Microsoft, because you're making me proud for being a long-term Xbox player. So there we go. Our last game that we're going to talk about before we move on to some other stuff is quite an old game. This game came out in 2005 originally. It is literally came out today for Nintendo Switch and the PS4. It was a lot of people, Star Wars fans, said this was one of the best Star Wars games of the last 20 years. They've now brought it out. We're going to go check it out. Before we do that, I'm going to say hello to Fairly Sammy. Hello, Berserk. J Dino, thank you so much for the raid with the party of 3. Greatly appreciated. We are going to check out this trailer for Star Wars Republic Commando and see what we think. And has it aged well? And is it going to be a game that we're really going to want to play? Let's check it out.
Let's form up. Let's go in quietly.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
Trouble ahead, Commandos.
Get ready, Delta.
You got a spider droid here.
Incoming!
So there we go. That is Star Wars Republic Commando, which has now come onto Switch and PS4 since its release in 2005. Dave, I know you're a Star Wars fan. Would you agree that that is one of the best Star Wars games in the last 20 years, or would you say no? And do you think they're just clutching at straws, bringing it out today?
There were other ones I preferred to that. I never finished that game when it originally came out. I couldn't even tell you how far I got into it. Might not have been very far at all. But I remember at the time preferring Dark Forces Jedi Knight games.
Okay.
Those ones were really good. Those are my preference. And I think that the problem was as well with this one is your mileage with it will really depend on how much you like the prequel trilogy and the character designs from that. I can't say something really appeals to me quite as much. So I'm not a huge fan of that one. I don't think I'd really bother going back and playing it either, even though it was meant to be a decent game, from what everyone says. So it'll sit in my back catalogue. Probably never get played.
Okay. T-Funk, one, are you a Star Wars fan? And don't worry if you say no, it's perfectly cool there. You don't judge.
You got to do a disclaimer before.
Yeah, just a disclaimer.
I'm a Star Wars fan, don't worry. I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Cool.
But I'd find it hard to go back after the ones that are out new, to go back and look at kind of those older generation graphics. It kind of annoys you when you look back at them when there's so much better ones now. But I'm sure it was good when it came out. And if somebody likes the old kind of, it's only 2015, but I guess you could call it retro, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of boxy looking. But if it was a good game, it probably still is a good game if you just if you don't mind looking at it like that.
I mean, what do we reckon this got? I mean, I never played it. I love Star Wars games. I can't even remember if that was PS1 or PS2 it came out. Lady Red said it's PS2, which is cool. Kuda's saying a 7 out of 10. Dave, what do you reckon this got? Because I'm not going to lie, the graphics don't. I get its support, but the graphics don't look like they've.
No, I don't think they've really done much apart from making slightly higher res.
Yeah.
Done a huge amount to it otherwise. I'll just guess an 8 for it because I know it was meant to be a pretty solid game.
Okay. 8 and T-Funk?
I'll go with 7. We'll see.
Okay.
7.
Anyone else in the chat want to have a guess what this got out of 10? We actually got review scores for this. I think a lot of people reviewed it. Even though it came out today, a lot of people got the reviews out. I am going to tell you, obviously, I do this on an average based. And I did see one review that gave it 3 out of 10. They really hated it, which is worrying. But generally, Lady Red says an 8. Fairly Sammy, hello, Fairly Sammy, how you doing? Says an 8 out of 10. I can tell you, it got a 7 out of 10. Generally, they basically said it's absolutely fine. The graphics look yes. T-Funk wins. Dave, go on.
All right.
That was the last game we're gonna talk about more games, but that's the last one that we got review scores. So what a way to end. T-Funk gets a score. Dave, you got to do better.
I got on the board.
You got 2 wrong. You need to do better next week. All right.
I will do my best.
But yeah, they said, look, if you love that game, it's a perfectly decent port on Switch and PS4. If you're not into it, you're probably not enjoy it. And unfortunately, it does look dated. Nothing wrong with it, but nothing great. 7 out of 10. So there you go. 7 out of 10. So I'm just going to, before we go into our kind of last 2 couple of things that we're going to talk about, I'm just going to go through a quick through. We talked about Outriders, which came out last Thursday, pretty much on all platforms. At the moment, early reviews are suggesting it gets a 7 or 8 out of 10, but we haven't got the official review scores yet. Tennis World Tour 2 Complete Edition came out for Series X and PS5. That came out a week last Thursday. That gets a 7 out of 10. El Hijo, A Wild West Tale, out on Xbox One, PS4, Switch, 8 out of 10. Disco Elysium Final Cut on PS4, 5, PC and Stadia got a whopping 10 out of 10, people. You need to check that game out. Arkham Horror, Mother's Embrace, out on Xbox, all the Xboxes, all the PlayStation, Switch and PC, 5 out of 10. Oddworld Soulstorm, sorry, PS4 and 5 and PC. We haven't got reviews for because it landed today. And obviously Star Wars Republic Commando for PS4 and Switch out today, got a 7 out of 10. Now, interestingly enough, this segues beautifully in this little discussion that we're going to have. We are going to play some more trailers for some more games a little bit later on, games that are coming out. Hey, Jay Dino, great to see you. Hope you're well. We're all good here. Thank you for raiding. Greatly appreciate it, my friend. There was going to be 2 other games that we were going to talk about tonight. They've been on my list because I kind of try and plan these shows a month in advance to see what's coming out. Obviously, games move around and shift. But 2 games that were literally due to come out last Wednesday, but have been postponed. One is Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2, which was due out on the PS4 and Xbox One and PC. That was due out last Wednesday. They've now announced that's not coming out to July. And another game which I wasn't familiar with was a game called Hazel Sky, also out for the same platforms. Was due plus Switch, I believe, was due out last Wednesday. And again, that all they've said now, they've not even given a date for that one. They basically said it's going to come out in Q2. So it's sometime between now and the end of June. We don't know. There's been a lot of things about AAA games being delayed. Now, me and Dave did 2 shows at the start of this year. I think, didn't we cover like more than 40 games over 2 shows of all the stuff that was coming out this year?
It was something like that, wasn't it? It was a lot.
And nearly half of them already, we're only like 4 months in here, half of them have already been postponed into 2022. So I want to have a bit of a discussion, and you can join in with the chat with this as well. There's a lot of AAA games that are getting put back. Now, next month is quite a big month for AAA games, and we know that there's some really good ones coming out. I'm going to read off the list here. We've got Returnal, Near Replicant, Resident Evil 8 Village, Deathloop, and obviously the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is coming out. So those games we know are definitely coming out next month. There's some really good stuff. But when you look at it for the rest of the year, as the weeks go on, the calendar's getting thinner and thinner because we know that the new Halo has got postponed. That is coming out at the end of the year. We haven't, with the new Life is Strange that we talked about, is due out, I think, September. That's definitely going to, fingers crossed, coming out. But then there's a couple of other games where it's a bit hazy because the new Zelda game, that we haven't got dates on. Ghostwire Tokyo looks like it's been pushed back 2020. The new God of War game, they never really give a date for that when they kind of did that PlayStation 12-second preview, which was just a trailer with no game footage. We reckon that's been pushed back to 2022. And Horizon, a Forbidden West, PlayStation exclusive, looks like that's been pushed back. And there's other games that we're like, hang on, they were in the stores and now they've disappeared. We've mentioned this lots of times. Far Cry 6 was due out last year. Then it got pushed to February. Then it got pushed to April. It's now disappeared from stores. We don't even know when that's due to come out yet. And the other one that we did mention last week, because we thought it had got left, was Dying Light 2. However, we have had updates that they're working on that, but that doesn't look like that's coming out. This year has been a really bizarre year. If you thought last year was weird, this year's going to get weirder because we did get a lot of main titles and there were games that came out in the spring. And then we did get our good run from September all the way up to Christmas, all the big AAA games coming out pretty much as normal. There was only a few that got knocked back. This year, I think, is going to be the aftermath of the COVID thing because a lot of the big titles were due are getting pushed back. Do we need to be worried about this or do we just go, yeah, sod it, let's play more indie games? I want people's opinions in the chat, but I'm going to start with Dave. Do we think it's a bit worrying that May could be the only big month for games this year? Or do we think we shouldn't be worried?
I expect we'll see some games turn back up. I mean, if nothing really comes out in the summer, I reckon some of them will reappear for the end of the year because the companies want to get those big hitters out in November, don't they? So you can pretty much guarantee it's going to be a Call of Duty house. Yeah, that'll pop up. Hopefully Horizon Forbidden West might pop up there as well, and some other ones that have disappeared off the radar. But stuff like God of War, I never really thought that was going to come out this year. I reckon that'll be a 2022 one easy. And so some of the other stuff might well just need more time. Or is it saying about COVID? All these companies have got the challenges of people working from home, and it's got to be completely different trying to manage a huge team, or teams doing different bits. All these big AAA games, and they're all at home. Just talking on like Teams or Zoom or whatever. It's got to be really challenging. But I mean, it's probably not just a case of us jumping and playing some indie games. I don't know about you. I've got a stupidly big backlog. I've got all these games sitting in Steam. I've claimed hundreds from the Epic Game Store for free. over the years on every platform. I've got games just sitting there, never been played. I could happily play through those this year with no new releases. I'd be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, T-Funk, are you in the same like frame of mind as Dave? It's like, actually, it doesn't matter. Let's play, get the backlog shifted, and away we go.
Have it come out whenever you want. We have plenty of games to play. Don't make it come out broken. If Halo comes out broken, it's going to break my heart, because it's like, if they're going to do it, they better do it good, because I can't take it. If that's one of my babies right there, Halo. I've been playing it since it came out, the first one.
Good, man. I'm with you there.
Know what I mean?
You're going to hate
do it
me.
good. Yeah.
You're going to hate me. I can't stand Halo.
It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody.
But, and I've said this, I'm not. I've tried a couple of Halo games. I didn't enjoy it. But I've said when it comes out, because it's going to come out in Game Pass, I will give it a stream. I'm going to give it a whirl. I'm not just going to say this is shit. Blah blah blah. I will actually give it a fair go. But yeah, you're right. Concentrate on the games. Make sure they work. I mean, hello Ganj, how you doing, mate? Says, have you played this Outriders? Dave has played it. I am streaming it on Friday. If you want to check out the stream on Friday, we are doing an Outriders stream on Friday. That has come out broken, as we were discussing earlier in the show. I'm not even going back to Cyberpunk. We've talked enough about that this week. Save that till next week when I have another rant. But yeah, just I don't mind if games are delayed. I'll be totally honest. The people who moan about games getting delayed are probably the same ones that moan about the fact that it's broken. Now, if you're not fussed about it being delayed and then it comes out broken, I think you've got a right to moan about it, because it's difficult times. And I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to a lot of software houses. It's very difficult. And I can understand now there's this backlog in the way that you've been developing games. There's loads of other games. I think that new Arkham game has now been said it's been postponed. Also the Suicide Squad game, which we showed the trailer for, that's been postponed. We knew the Harry Potter game's been postponed. There's loads of stuff. That's fine. Just get it out and make it work. And that's all we ask. I think that's all. I mean, any of you guys that got anything else to comment on that? Or
I just delay it as long as it takes. It does not bother me. It's not like I'm playing it and then you took it away. It's like, I've never seen it. So let it go. Do it good. Polish it up.
That's it.
Yeah.
Bring it out when it's actually ready.
Yeah.
Measure twice and cut once, right?
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. A couple of comments. We said, Lady Red said, I can't even afford the big games. I'll stick with the indie games and older games that are in sale. Cool. Do it. Fairly Sammy, honestly, save my money for Village. I am so looking forward to that. I think that's one of my my top 3 games I'm really excited for this year. And that's definitely coming up. We know that's not going to get delayed. So that's cool. Still waiting for Nier Automata to be a bit cheaper. Obviously, Nier Replicant comes out next month as well, which was only ever available in Japan. So that's going to be a big one. Hello, Vinny. How are you? Great to see you. Yes, look what the cat dragged in. Great to see you, my friend. Great to have you here. But yeah, folks, as we've just said, take your time with it. That's all we ask. And then people can do it. And then you're not going to be remembered for being a shit game that failed, that people lost interest in 6 months. If you do a game right, and I get there's bugs, and if there are bugs, there's a lot of software houses out there that fix it and they do it quite quickly. Again, that's cool by me. You do expect things to crop up. It's difficult, especially in this time and how people are working. They've got to work from home and stuff. I get that. So just take your time with it. We're still all going to be here. We're still going to want to play it. Just
the Halo Battle Royale that they're going to put in it.
You think that could be a
Halo
thing?
Battle Royale? Yes.
See
be
now,
the Battle Royale to take over, I think.
Oh my God. Do you know
Postpone
what?
it as long as it takes.
Do you know what? Weirdly, I'd be up for that. I'd give that a whirl. I would actually, that would put, as much as I don't play many Battle Royale games, I do play a few. If that happens, that's actually piqued my interest in that. Now, other people, it might not, but I think that would be cool. Night, Chelsea, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the support. We'll see you soon. Take care. I did not know that. Dave, did you know that?
I'm making that up, but I think that's what they're going
Oh,
to do.
shit.
I think that's what's
One of those rumours that just floats about, isn't it? But I bet you
it?
they've been thinking about it. No doubt they've looked at the battle royals and thought, I wonder if we can do something with this in the Halo universe. Whether they will or not is another question. I mean, we're going to have the multiplayer as a free-to-play component when that comes out. So
yeah.
they're doing that separately, which hopefully that'll be good. I mean, usually their multiplayer is pretty solid. But yeah,
if they want to stay competitive,
battle royale as well.
They got to.
Yeah. I'm going to play, as I said, for people who are not familiar with the show, at the end of the show, either we or we get the community to pick funny trailers or interesting trailers to end the show with. And not even Dave or my guests know what it is. All I'm going to say is there is a brand new Battle Royale game that was announced last week, and we're going to play the trailer for it. And I think you'll find it very interesting, or at least funny. That's all I'm going to say about that. But we'll end the show with that. So we're going to move on to our final bit. We always try and do roundups of any showcases. We talked about Nintendo Direct a couple of weeks ago. PlayStation did theirs. There was the Blizzard Con. We talked about that. Square Enix did theirs a couple of weeks ago. So we always try and cover things. Literally about 2 weeks ago, we couldn't cram this into the show last week because there were so many games we had to talk about last week. No, we haven't. Vinny, we haven't finished the show, dude. There's half an hour left. We've got plenty of time, dude. Don't run away. You're good. You're good. We're gonna talk about indie games for the next 10, 15 minutes. The Idea Xbox showcase went out 2 weeks ago, and I believe for the first time ever, they actually streamed it on Twitch. Twitch was the place that housed it, which is cool. There was over 60 independent games announced at that showcase, which are due to come out across the next 12 months, of which 20 of them are coming to out on the day of release on Game Pass, which is pretty cool. So we're going to play a couple of trailers for some of those games that kind of piqued my interest. I didn't go through all 60. I didn't have like 4 hours to do it, but I've literally picked out some ones that I thought, these look interesting, or there's some ones that are familiar that haven't come to console, which are still independent games. So I'm going to play this first one. We want your opinions in the chat. There's no scores because these games haven't come out yet. And I'll get Dave and T-Funk to give their opinions on this. This first one, again, the trailer, half of it isn't game footage, but some of it is. So at least we can do that. But this first one, I think I did actually see this trailer at Gamescom when they did the massive Gamescom on YouTube before. But now they've done like an extended trailer. This one is called Death's Door. So I'm going to play the trailer for this and let's see what people think. Here we go. So there you go. That is Death's Door. Vinny goes, a bird with a sword. What could go wrong? Pigeon Hitman. It could be Pigeon Hitman. We'll have to see. They don't look like pigeons, though. That's true. They don't. They're like either ravens or jackdaws. I'm guessing, hence the funny name. That's supposed to be it. Zenki Paul wants me to say to you, can you say to T-Funk, "Hey, Boomer," and he'll know who it's from.
What's going on now, Zenki Pool? I know. I can see the chat. It's not secret. I'm reading the chat as well. How you doing? Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, good to see you, Zenki. It was actually Zenki's stream that I was watching. He was playing Oddworld. So that was who I was watching this afternoon.
That's what he's doing today?
Yeah, so thank you, Zenki, because we talked about that game earlier on the show. So really appreciate you did a great stream. Thank you for that. Anzoffany says, never mind, what's it coming to actually? Looks like a dungeon crawler, but with some interesting mechanics. Fairly Sammy says, this is reminding me of Diablo for some reason, mixed with Hollow Knight, possibly a bit of Cuphead. I'll give it a whirl. Guys, I'll start with T-Funk. What do you think about this game?
Look like penguins in some kind of bizarre world where they're wearing clothes.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's blowing my skirt up. I'm sure other people will like it, though. It's kind of usually not my thing, though. But
okay. It has dungeon crawler vibes with it.
I like that somebody, if it's an independent person that made this, it looks really good for one person that,
Yeah. These I think this one, it literally be a small, it might not necessarily be one person, but it's a smaller studio. I think this one is Devolver Digital that have made quite a few different games. So I know they're a small studio. I've seen those guys and girls at some independent gaming shows where I've gone to visit with other games that were showcasing. But there you go. Cheers, Vinny. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks for popping in. Good to see you. I'll see you soon. Dave, your opinions on this? Is this something that you give a try when it comes out?
I don't usually get into dungeon crawlers that much. I've tried Diablo in the past, played a bit of it. I always find it gets a bit samey after a while, get a bit fed up of it. But if it had co-op to it, it might be something I'd play co-op with a friend. Might be quite good fun there. Take two birds with two swords. That might be quite cool.
Yeah.
But to begin with, I was getting quite a sort of film noir vibe from it, and then it kind of just changed, and it just to be a dungeon crawler, sort of film noir stuff. Yeah, shoved to the side. It's something completely different. I mean, graphic-wise, it looked really nice. I thought it got a nice visual style. Yeah, that looked really cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it'll turn out good.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll end up reviewing it on the show whenever it comes out. We got any release dates for any of these games. They just literally got announced the other week. So we'll see how we go. We'll move on to another one that caught my attention. And when I say caught my attention, it doesn't necessarily mean I would like these games. It's just something that came up and I thought that looks cool. Or no, this is just really weird, but I'm going to show it. This next one was, I think the graphical style caught my eye. This one is called Moonglow Bay. Here we go with this one.
Well, Guppy, you did it. Your first catch. 40 years, and you still surprise me. I know this place seems strange. A fishing town afraid to fish. But that's why our new venture might just stay afloat. Because all those stories about the mystical monsters of Moonglow are exactly that. Stories. This bay is full of amazing new creatures waiting to be discovered. So we'll find them and share them with the world. Together. As long as this book is by your side. So am I. Welcome home.
So that's Moonglow Bay. I forgot to say with the other one, not only is that Xbox, but Death's Door will also be on PC. This looks like it's purely for Xbox. This is made by Coatsink, who recently did Cake Bash and Fogs, which I very much enjoyed. This is a kind of adventure game, lots of fishing. Looks like Minecraft, but isn't Minecraft. And Lady Red just said that before I said it. It feels like a bit like Minecraft fishing. Yeah.
We were all thinking it.
Still not really sure what this is, to be honest. It's just the graphical style caught my eye. And fairly Sammy was going to say the same thing, which is funny. I mean, you guys thinking the same thing? Dave, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I'd say so. I can see how the graphical style caught your eye. It does look quite cool. I quite like it where you sort of saw inside the houses. It looked like little dioramas you're just peering in at. But then seeing towards the end with the fishing, and then the book comes up and shows you the fish you've caught. Is it going to be one of those ones you just got to collect all these fish? Probably get bigger and bigger. Maybe there's some bigger monsters out there. You got to go and find a way to capture as well. A bit hard to tell just from what we saw there. It could be interesting. Wouldn't really sit on my radar at the moment. Not until I knew more about it.
Yeah. T-Funk, your thoughts?
Definitely for a younger audience, I'd say. It looks like Minecraft, which Minecraft looks like Legos to me. So,
Yeah.
Looks fun if I was younger, but
yeah.
I'm sure it's got cooking and all crafting and all that type of story things in it.
I hope it does. If it is purely just fishing, then we'll see. We'll see. Now let's have a look. What we got next? Let's have a look. This one is actually already out on PC and has been out for quite a few years now. And I see lots of people streaming this one. But this is Rust, and it's going to be the console edition that is coming to Xbox. So let's have a look at the trailer for this.
Rated M for mature.
Late to the stage they come. Papers to blaze the punk. Police on the beach we run. I rise on an equal chump. I'm a god, you're below us all. No love in the doja fools. You alive by golden tool. No repentance is of a dude. You don't see me now. You don't see me now. You don't see me. You don't see me now. You don't see me now.
Yeah, there you go. Rust console edition. Now, I'd see lots of people streaming this. Zenki says, I don't see Rust anywhere. 0 out of 10 false advertising. Not even in that little room they went in. That looked kind of rusty to me, but there you go. I see lots of people playing this on the PC, but I've never played it. And my first thoughts when I saw the trailer was, it's Ark Survival Evolved. Oh, hang on. No, it's not. It's PUBG and Warzone. And then they've stuck the two together. This is the Xbox version. It says console edition. I don't know if this is coming to PlayStation or not. As far as I know, this is purely for Xbox. They've announced this, Lady Red. So we'll have to see. T-Funk, your thoughts on this one?
I've never played this, but I've heard stories about this, that this is a game of complete paranoia and betrayal of people that you don't know, because it's permadeath is what I understand about it.
Right.
You spend hours trying to get your little matches and stuff together. I'm guessing you get a weapon, you can actually defend yourself, survive from the cold and stuff, and somebody could just snipe you from out of nowhere and take all of your stuff. Or you can meet people, and then are they trying to trick you to bring you to some type of place where their other friends will ambush you? And it's all kinds of stuff like that. I guess there's a whole survival aspect to it about, if it's the same game I'm thinking of. I think it is.
Okay.
But I guess it's kind of a make your own story thing, and a lot of it is just the mechanics of the game is what kind of makes you don't waste your time. You mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would play it at some point. It's on my list to play once it comes out.
I'm intrigued by this. Oh, thank you, Zenki Paul. Zenki Paul's confirmed it is coming to PlayStation as well. So there's a good chance it might become crossplay, just like PUBG and all the others have. We'll have to see when we get more info. We'll let you know. Dave, I would give this a whirl. Would you?
I probably wouldn't bother, to be quite honest. It's not a genre that interests me. You know, you've got to spend all that time getting all your resources, building something up, trying to find something, and then someone comes along and shoots you, and you've like lost all that progress. You got to start again. I just kind of find that a bit of wasted time, in my opinion. I prefer playing through something and progressing to the end and finishing it. I don't want to have to keep restarting. There was like a mode that came into Division 1 that was like that. I think one of the last DLCs where you could play for 2 hours and you had to do, you started from scratch again, basically. I tried it once. I'd never go back to it. Hated it. Not for me.
No, Survival. That was it. That's what it was called. Oh, you were stuck in the storm. I remember now.
Yeah, that's right. I tried it once, but I didn't like having to go back to having shitty gear. Absolutely nothing. Not for me at all.
Okay, Zenki says it feels like a mix of PUBG and The Forest. See, I've never played The Forest. I know a lot of people that do stream The Forest because that's a survival horror game.
Yeah,
isn't it?
there's a lot of games in that genre now on the PC. Yeah, all doing the same thing. Yeah, start off with nothing, build up your resources, build up your bases. There's so many of them now.
Lady Red said can't even choose a character in that game. Okay, interesting. Fairly Sammy says I can't handle the game like that. Well, we'll see. I would give it a whirl. I wouldn't say it's piqued my interest but if it's there and it's coming on Game Pass, I'm gonna try it. Now this one, if you think I couldn't pick any more weirder games like the thing with the crow with a sword, you're gonna think I'm batshit crazy with this one.
I already do.
This game to me looks absolutely frigging pointless, but I had to put it in here. This game is called Soup Pot. It does exactly what it says in the trailer. So here we go with Soup Pot. I mean, what the actual fuck?
It's an easy no, that one. Just wouldn't bother.
Just go cook in real life.
Get some ingredients. And if you can't get fresh ingredients, go bloody buy a can from the store and just chunk it in a thing and stick it in the microwave or on a hob. Why? Why?
I don't know. That's kind of to the extreme of life simulation, I think.
Oh dear! I had to chuck that in there because I just wanted to see people's reaction. But yeah, what the hell was that? Yeah, Zenki says it was very indie indeed. Cooking Mama made realistic. Now I have seen other cooking games, but they're like more like time. What do you call them? Time management games, which are a lot more strategy. I don't get how. I don't think there's any of that in there. I think you just pick recipes and cook. I don't know. I might be wrong. Somebody prove me wrong on it. I always say, if you can prove me wrong,
there must be some market for it. They must reckon they make some money doing it. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother. I don't know who'd be interested.
If you're not allowed to touch the stove or something, I guess you could.
Yeah, kids who want to learn to cook, maybe. You know, you probably have more fun learning how to make your own soup. Do a backflip.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? A backflip here or do a backflip in the game? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. However, this last one, the selection that I picked. At first, I'm going to say this at first, it doesn't look like much, but I think this has got a very clever mechanic. Funk has to do 3 backflips. That's what it was.
I'll do them right after this. I swear.
Okay, cool. Yeah, when we finish the stream, that's fine.
Do 'em. I'll post them on YouTube.
Awesome. Coming to TikTok near you.
Right. Stay tuned.
Yeah. We didn't. I said we were going to put a funny video at the end. We've cancelled the one we're going to go, and we're just going to put a video of T-Funk doing 3 backflips instead. So that's what we're going to do.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
So, this last one. So I'll run the video. At first, you kind of go, but I think this has got quite a unique mechanic that I don't think I've seen before. So let's have a look at this. This one is called Loot River. Again, part of the Idea Xbox lot that came out. Let's have a look at this and see what we think. Here we go. So there you go. That one is Loot River. That is also coming out on PC as well as Xbox. Why was one of the platforms in the shape of the penis? I did not notice that. I'll have to go back and watch that. I'll have to check.
Good question, though.
It's a good question, yeah. This is kind of the insightful stuff that we talk about on these shows. So, hey, and it makes a change from me ranting about Cyberpunk anyway, so that's all good as far as I'm concerned. I'll have to go back and watch that now and check that. But yeah, the mechanic with this is that you move the platforms to your advantage to either get away or attack. Otherwise, it seems like at first it seemed like a pretty much hack and slash dungeon crawler. Dave, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it looked like an interesting mechanic to it. I mean, is it meant to be one of those sort of roguelike games? Is it where you just keep replaying to get better loose?
I don't necessarily know. I don't know if it's like, oh God, what's the one with Dead Cells or something like that? I don't know if it's like that.
I'll have to wait and see. But it looks interesting. I feel like, again, nice graphic style it's got there. It makes it stand out, that nice pixel art look. It could be cool, just moving all the platforms around.
Yeah.
Different, isn't it?
Tetris with death.
That's it. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
And penises as well, apparently. If you look
and penises, yeah. Who knew?
Blinking, you missed them.
It's an exclusive. You heard it here first.
They took the walls out and put little rafts in there. That's kind of a good idea. Switched it up a little bit. I like the character. Looked like one of those little plague doctors, you know.
Yes.
That's kind of cool. Blood and guts and stuff. Neat.
Yeah. There's something, if this comes out on Game Pass, you're going to give it a go?
I don't know. It might go on the list.
Okay.
Might go on the list, but there's a lot.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, that's just a sampling of the 60 games that they did at the Idea Xbox conference. There's like a free 4-hour video on YouTube and everywhere else. If you want to go check out the games, there was 60 announced. They also did announce at the Idea Xbox thing, which was quite cool, is that they are bringing, as you know, they brought cloud gaming, I think, out last September to beta, so you can play games on your Android phone that are in Game Pass. They've now announced that the backwards compatible library is coming as well to cloud gaming. And I think there's quite a few of the rare games like Banjo and Kazooie, the original Fables, Some of the older Elder Scrolls games are going to be the first few games that come. So for people who want to play on an Android phone, I want to play some of those classics, you can do that now, which I think is pretty cool.
I did. I'm a Xbox ambassador, and I was.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they. I signed up to test it, but you got to have 5G. Got to be somewhere that's got 5G. If you don't, it's gonna, it's gonna be a mess to try to play. But you can use your Xbox controller and just put it right to your phone, and it works.
Yeah.
But got to have real good 5G connection for it to work.
But
someday we'll be there.
Yeah, I fingers crossed. I've only ever tried it when I've had Wi-Fi, but I've been somewhere where I haven't got the Xbox. And I actually played Sea of Thieves on it, and I had the phone, had the controller, and I couldn't fault it. It was really good. But I think if you go wandering off somewhere and you, as you say, you ain't got 5G, you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. Right, our final video. So I mentioned we were talking about battle royale games. I'm going to tell you this now. This came as an April Fool's joke because you're going to guess that this is an April Fool's joke. There's no point in me trying to cover this up. But this could have been the battle royale game to beat all battle royales games. This is courtesy of IGN, whose idea it was. I'm going to play this video. Just enjoy for what it is. And we will see you shortly after this video. Here we go.
For the last year, millions have relied on Zoom video conferencing to stay connected during the COVID-19 pandemic. In the professional world, it's kept business running smoothly while employees work remotely, safely, and it's become indispensable as a way of staying in touch with friends and family. And now, we at Zoom Video Communications are raising the stakes and taking Zoom to the next level of fun. Introducing Zoom Royale, the first ever VoIP Battle Royale game. 100 players are dropped into a call to try and get a word in edgewise. But if you want the floor, you'll need to fight for it.
So I guess what I really want to say, my main point is...
Hang on, can I just...
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I
so-
want it... Okay.
What I was going to say was
In Zoom Royale, the slightest hesitation or errant could be your downfall. But that's not the only way to get disqualified.
Now, so I think it's really important. We're going to circle back on what we just spoke about. And to this point, remember the rule
Sharon,
of
you still
10.
there?
Sorry, can you not hear me?
Data capped.
Sorry about the construction noise that's going on in the background. We'll be going all day.
Wait, I can't hear you. You have construction noise in the background.
Jackhammer.
But I think we'd all love to hear from Mitchell right now. So, Mitchell, what do you got for us?
Hey, sweetie, could you give me like 5 minutes?
Friendly fire.
Rack up points as you take down other players one by one.
Rebecca, you're muted. You're muted. We can't hear you.
Mutilated.
Oh, that's me. Let me just grab my notes here.
Whoa. Probably fired.
You're echoing a little bit.
I gotta get one. Facebook.
Echo KO.
Your mouth is the shark. And then
your mouth is the shark.
My mouth is the
finish
shark?
on your head.
Yes.
Faced.
I'm just going to share my screen for a sec.
Oh!
Share scare.
I finally get started playing Broforce, and it's absolutely everything that. Hang on, my Postmates is here. I'll be right back.
Special delivery.
No, it's supposed to be the Cool Ranch tacos. No, not the other ones. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a rating now.
Every win earns you Z-Bucks, which can be traded for new in-game rewards like exclusive Zoom Royale virtual backdrops, cosmetic upgrades, and skins to customize your character, virtually and physically. And even in-game emotes you won't find anywhere else. In Zoom Royale, only one player gets the last word. Will it be you?
I'm going to go ahead and take off. I'll see you guys at the next one. And
Wait, hold
have a
on,
good
I got
night.
one more thing. Wait a minute. Am I the only one left now? What's happening? Did I win?
Zoom Royale. Play it free today. Rated E for everyone. Online interactions not rated. Offers in-app purchases.
So there you go,
10 out of
folks. Zoom Royale coming to no platform.
Who needs Halo
anywhere,
Battle Royale?
At any time.
That one's trumping all of them.
Yeah. What was the one that got me? Oh God, what did I say? mutilated.
Yeah, I like that one.
that was great. But yeah, I'm sure all of us in some way or form has had to put up with Zoom and people that can't use it, bless them. But yeah, that just summed up the last year for me. And no, it's not an EA game, but there probably would be microtransactions, as I said. So there you go. So there you go, folks. That's our show for this week. Firstly, thank you so much to our guest this week, which is T Fungira. Please do go check out his Twitch channel and give him a follow. Go check out what he's streaming. Do you want to just quickly tell us when you're next on and what you'll be streaming?
Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central. That's my early access Wednesday game. It's going to be Hell's Gate. I got early access to that. Call to Arms Hell's Gate. But 16th and 17th is that big veterans thing that we're doing.
Yeah.
The Veterans Game-a-thon. You'll probably see it in a Discord from here or there. But I'll be on at like 9 in the morning, and then I think trying to raise money for this DV Farm veterans group to help veterans with substance abuse problems, trying to reintegrate into society. So if you want to skip all the rest of my streams, you can come to that one on the 17th. Any one of those guys and give if you can. That'd be great.
So, folks, 17th of April, check out T Fungira and donate, even if it's a couple of quid. Come and watch him. Are you doing like an all day stream or what are you doing?
It's going to be it's the 16th and 17th, and it's just one's going right from the next. Like we're doing like 2-hour blocks. So like I don't know if you got Lieutenant Dan and Toxic Bubblegum and Chair Force, but most of the veterans are kind of in like a circle. You know, a lot of those different guys. There's some other ones that probably you don't know. We're doing a whole marathon starting on the 16th and going through the 17th. I'll be bound at 9 a.m. on the 17th in the morning.
Okay. All right.
But,
awesome.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys. It's been a blast.
Oh,
this
no,
is really cool. Very professional. Very cool. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. This is.
I think that's the first time we've ever been called professional, so I will take it.
It was cool.
Definitely.
It was cool, man. Thanks everybody for coming too. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you again. Thank you for everyone who's been here over the course of 2 hours, whether you turned up for 5 minutes or you're here for the whole show. Thank you to Jay Dino for the raids. Thank you to Mia for the bits earlier. And there's a couple of people that Zenki Paul, if you're still here, thank you for the follow earlier. I think you followed before we started the show. So really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's us, Fist. We'll be back next week, same time, 9 p.m. UK time. With another guest, another whole heap of gaming news, and possibly yet again me ranting about Cyberpunk, no doubt. Because let's
look forward to it.
You know, well, yeah, maybe not.
It can't beat a good rant.
Yeah, you've got to have a good rant, but there you go. So that's it from us. Thank you so much, everyone, and again, thank you to my co-host Dave, and thank you to our guest T Fungira, and we shall say good night. Thank you very much. Take care.